Welcome, guys, to another podcast from us, from Anda and Jelte. Nice to have you here again, or maybe for the first time. This is our third one already. Going steady. We hope, of course, that you like it so far. You can show that to us. But of course, the like button. Okay, that was all the commercial stuff. Let's move on to what are we doing today? Making our third podcast.
A different style?
A bit of a different style, yeah. I'll start with a short update. Because there's always the nice question if you're traveling. Where are we at the moment, Anda?
I need to think about.
You lost counting
Yeah.
of all the places? Which
In
city?
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah. Nice big buildings here around us.
Still in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, the last podcast was, the second one was in Antalya in Turkey. Meanwhile, we went to Ankara, capital of Turkey. And from there to here, to Abu Dhabi. Basically on our way more east, towards Southeast Asia. And we stay 5 days here in Abu Dhabi in this hotel. That's where we record it now. We especially made a bed to look good.
We could have had room service, but
Yeah, we were like, oh, we can do it ourselves. Anyway, so that's a bit of an update for now. Probably the next podcast we will speak about Abu Dhabi. Because,
if there is interest, because today we speak about Turkey
indeed,
and impressions about Turkey. Because we thought it's gonna be a bit different. Like, we want to speak about deep things, but we want to speak also about our journeys and not really like blogging or like being in there, because it's honestly taking a lot of time only just taking pictures as a tourist. So I personally find out that you are not living the present, you are not there with your heart, you can't enjoy the experience. So I don't want to take that part away.
yeah, so we have a bit more, like we want to do now, that maybe some podcasts we will speak a bit more deep about life, struggles, issues, goals, career, whatever. And on the other side, we will speak, like today, a bit more about our experience so far. Not being us recording everything, like, hey, look at us here at this monument. Because that's not really...
Maybe like a journal in which we write emotions or feelings or impressions, these things, all in all. Like, I would say like Turkey through our eyes.
Yeah.
Because at some point in Turkey, I started to get out the notes and just write random things that I notice. So, yeah, actually, I made it because I started to write down all the lists. So I developed the list, but of course we can speak about it together because it's been together experiences. And yeah, I have to say that this is the impression what we have about Turkey, or mainly is my list, but I think we share the same impressions. In the 2 weeks, we have a bit more than 2 weeks spent in Turkey, because we went first to...
Yeah, so we went to Istanbul.
Yeah, that was back in September.
Yeah, September, I think, yeah. For like...
4 days?
4 days, indeed, Istanbul we did. Like city trip. And now recently we went 9 days to Antalya. To lay at the beach, mainly. And 3 days to Ankara. So like 2 weeks. The recent 2 weeks, let's say. So we made like a summary of those mainly 3 cities. We went outside the cities a bit as well. So I think it is a good indication for Turkey in general and the people. And yeah, like Anna said, based on our observations. And we thought we need to have a bit more, I think, guidance. We made like a list with a bit of an order. Because otherwise I think it would be really messy if we would just throw oh, this
ideas.
and that, you know. But we'll see how it goes, right?
So without further explanations, I'll start saying what we're going to focus on this podcast. So we have 5 categories. We'll speak about food. We'll speak about the Turkish people, how we perceive them, things to be considered for tourists, then the money and our budget.
Yeah. So what we spend and how we monitor it, and in general, what are the costs for Turkey?
Yeah, from our experience, that is not high end, not low budgeting.
It's a good middle way, I would say. Well, it's hard to say what is average, but we will come to that with numbers. It's more specific, so then people can decide as well if they find it expensive or not. But like you say, I think we are just a bit above the budget travelers, I would say. We kind of keep track of all the money. We don't go always for the cheapest, but we come to that, I think.
Okay.
So let's start. Where do you want to speak about, Anda?
Well,
about Turkey.
I have a big list written down here. It was initially on my phone, but we're recording with my phone, so I had to write it down. And the first point about food is because I just love it so much, is the baklava.
Baklava.
That has a first and a special category in the food list.
Yeah, that's good, huh? You can eat yourself sick with that.
Yeah.
Like we did.
We did. So the baklava is cheap and not.
Depends indeed the way you're gonna look.
Yeah.
Indeed, we found a big difference between, which is not strange, between the touristic places, where you can find it really for, I think, 700 lira per kilo, which is like more than 20 euros. And in more the local shops, you find it the same quality baklava.
Between 150 lira the walnuts, up to 350 the most special one with the pistachio. Yeah. But the pistachio started around 200, I think.
So, indeed, it's almost like 3 times cheaper in the more remote places, in which, of course, they also don't speak English, but we come to that, I think, also later.
Yeah. So, baklava is cheap, is delicious. Search for the cheap one because it can be also very expensive.
And negotiate. You can.
Yeah. Although in some places you can't negotiate. Depends.
If they have prices, indeed.
Yeah.
It's different. Good.
Right.
Food.
So food is really nice and healthy in general. Like the veggies and the fruits are fresh. They're healthy, like, healthy alternative. And this is also cheap. Like we always had fresh vegetables. Fruits tasted nice.
Yeah.
And they were really cheap.
Yeah.
I posted on my Instagram some stories on like daily shoppings we did. And yeah, everybody was indeed saying it's cheap.
Yeah, it's really cheap. Especially vegetables.
Yeah, vegetables and fruits.
But they grow
really
them a lot
cheap.
there, we saw. Like those greenhouses with tomatoes. Yeah. But you would say healthy, you said? In the restaurants, you had the same impression?
Yeah, although they give you like those meats that are in a lot of oils, there's usually some sort of salad on the side, which is a healthy option.
Yeah.
Or even the flatbreads, they have some sort of salsa, which, again with vegetables, onion, tomato, this kind of. I would say, in general, it's okay. I think
they have a good mix between, of course, all the kebab, dinner, and a lot of meat, grilled, on the barbecue. Indeed, combined with vegetables. It's quite good mix.
In general,
I like it.
I think,
Nice. So baklava, vegetables.
Yeah.
What else do we have on the list?
Like everybody is drinking chai.
Chai tea.
Chai. It's a black tea.
Yeah.
They usually put a lot of sugar in there, and sometimes they put milk, but yeah, there's a lot of sugar in the coffee as well.
Yeah. They like sugar. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They like the sweet.
Um,
And all the men indeed on the street having the little chai tea,
yeah.
smoking cigarette.
Small chais and smoking all the time. And because we spoke about the sugar, like they have a different level of sugar, I think.
Yeah.
It's really sweet. Like when there is sugar in something, it's just not a little teaspoon. No, it's
They go all in on the
yeah.
sugar.
Like at breakfast, I could see some people. They were having small chais, but then they were grabbing because there was like cubic sugar, like grabbing literally like this sugar and putting next to them to put in their chai all the time. So.
But they also, because we drink it without sugar mainly,
Yeah.
they make it so bitter.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I think the Brits maybe will like it. They like strong teas. So you have to kind of almost put sugar as well, because the really bitterness is also
Or
hard.
you can dilute it with some hot water.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have some tricks for that. Anyway, yeah, the chai tea, indeed, we noticed like everywhere. Sometimes you get even for free in restaurants, like as a dessert. or
Most
in the
of
end,
times you get for
Yeah.
free.
which is
Except
nice.
in the touristic places, they don't really offer it for free. But if you go
Yeah.
local, they always offer it to you.
Mhm. Yeah.
And they offer to you chai in like also other places if you have to wait for something. Like at the car rental, they offer
Yeah.
chai.
True.
At the haircut, they offer chai.
Yeah, like a service.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
And as I said, they take it with a lot of sugar. So sweets, there is a lot of sweets. There is like sweet shop everywhere. There's like the Turkish delights and a lot of sweet. There's just
Yeah.
like a lot of sweet. Like sweet and sweet and sweet. Everywhere you look, you will find sweet.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And the last point I kind of wanted to make here is the picnic mentality. Like they eat outside. We've seen many people even at the beach. They were with foldable tables and chairs, and yeah, they have chai with them. It's always there is a chai there, a kettle with chai.
Yeah, they're really gathering
Yeah,
outside.
yeah.
Big
And-
families,
Yeah,
grandparents.
and they gather. They like to
Yeah.
be together.
I think they find that important, the family relationships, I think, the social network,
Yeah.
which I think is the
Yeah, it's the next subject.
second
Like
subject.
how we perceived the Turkish people.
Yeah,
So besides the fact that they eat together, they gather together, and they're like really nice people in general, I would say.
yeah,
We had nice experiences exactly from the airport. Yeah, the guy that helped us.
and it started already with, because in the Turkish cities they have like those specific public transport cards, which is a bit of a hassle sometimes to get from the machine because you need cash, which you
Only
maybe
with
don't have
cash, yeah.
if you arrive from wherever. And indeed, there was a guy. He was like, "Hey, I can help you," and then he charged his card.
He didn't even say he can help because he couldn't speak that much English, but we kind of realized he wants to help, so...
Yeah, you were first like, oh, what is he doing or whatever, and then he was like just charging his card and just checking us in, let's say, for the metro.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
He also paid some money for us because we didn't have enough.
Correct.
We were missing 5 or 10 liras, something
Yeah.
like that.
A little bit, but indeed, it's really was really welcoming
Yeah.
if you arrive.
Yeah.
And indeed, they are really, in general, I think, willing to help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Probably they realize that tourists are an important factor, right, in their income.
Yeah, really, really sweet people we met on our way, always. The
Yeah.
Turkish people, yeah. And going to, how we perceive the Turks, there was, you read on Booking that comment that, this is a man's neighborhood.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
not only us, but others also perceive that it's a men's world.
yeah. Well, I think we also stayed a bit more in the downtown. It was in Ankara, by the way. Downtown area with more going out, like clubs, bars, those kind of things. And indeed, there were mainly men hanging around, smoking, looking at girls, ladies. So I think if you're not used to this, that can be maybe a bit impressive, because I read indeed on booking.com like one of the comments saying there's so many men hanging on the street and like this macho culture and blah blah blah, and we're like, okay, you know, well, we'll see. And
But
I think I know what they mean, because literally there are a lot of men, but it's not like I don't think it's uncomfortable or something. My opinion.
no, it's not uncomfortable.
They don't do anything bad or.
No, but I think it's coming from the fact that in general it's a man's world. By that meaning that man is outside and in the eye of people, because they do mainly these works that are outside. If we have to compare it with Vietnam, when we've been last year, we were shocked that we only saw women. There were only women trying to sell us things. There were only women trying to get us in a shop, to show us around.
True.
Yeah, so here there's only men. Like there's waiters, there are only men. Everywhere taxi driver, everywhere you interact with somebody, a seller in a shop, there's men. Barber, like, you know, there's men that are outside for the visible jobs, let's say.
True. You see a lot of men in general, on the streets. And I think they also like together, have a tea and a cigarette, speak about probably football or kind of things, because they're crazy with that.
But the women also gather together in the park, for example, with the children.
Correct. Again, the gathering, which I think is nice.
Yeah.
The connections.
Speaking about children, we noticed that children actually get involved in day-to-day things, activities.
Yeah.
Did you get a hair wash? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that was in the barber shop that I went.
Yeah.
Indeed, I don't know how old that boy was, maybe 8 or something, yeah. And indeed, he did my hair washing and that kind of stuff, not the cutting, of course. And in the beginning was a bit like, what? This is child labor, but indeed, the boys already get at a young age involved in providing.
Especially the boys, especially the boys. We haven't seen
indeed,
girls really working.
No, correct. Indeed, the boys on the street, sometimes maybe more sad, begging or something like that.
But we've seen them also helping in the market with, I don't know, maybe arranging some boxes or.
Yeah, I think it's a bit the mentality, like, hey, you have 2 hands, 2 legs, you can help, you know? Yeah. Which I think was also more like that in Europe back in the days, I think. Anyway.
Yeah. Something else we noticed about them is, like, in general, they're very happy. They like a good party. If there's like somebody on the street and they're singing, they join, they can clap, or in their gatherings when we notice them in the park or on the beach, they can also sing together. Yeah, we found
there's always that kind really of Turkish music you hear, and people are there to have a good time.
Yeah, in general, really lively. What else we noticed about the Turks? Very nationalist. There's everywhere a flag at the window.
I think they're proud people.
Yeah.
Because I know also some Turks in Netherlands, because we have also a community in Netherlands with quite some Turkish people. And indeed, I think they're quite proud where they're from. That's a bit in their DNA, I think, which is nice to have that. But like you said, indeed, parties, politicians, big on billboards.
Also, recognition for ancestors or like important people from the past.
Yeah.
Many monuments dedicated to them in the airports.
In general, like they have big history, of course.
Yeah.
The Turkish people. Huh?
And you know, like fresh flowers and all the respect to Yeah, they
honor people indeed.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. we noticed they have the good quality replicas,
like brands.
There's
Gucci,
many,
Armani.
whatever. Stop naming them.
Oh.
But there's many brands, and there's everywhere. They're wearing brands. They're selling the brands. It's obviously not brands, but they look good.
Yeah.
From the distance, I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
No, they indeed they wear a lot of that. That's something we noticed. Little detail.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to buy, I think this is the heaven. You find everything. The newest updates are available everywhere, and you can negotiate, get good price. Probably if you speak Turkish, even better. If you have a Turkish friend, you get better discounts. Yeah, like this idea about them, what we noticed is there are like more generations in the family, in their gatherings. You can see from small children to,
grandfather,
or maybe grand, you know. Sometimes you see more generations, they're all together. And it seems like they have the traditional household, and that's probably why men are mainly out. Because we said we see men in all the jobs outside, and
the reception, waiters, in all the restaurants, basically.
All the interactions there with men. You don't really interact with women.
Not much, no.
Yeah.
But indeed, it was like something we definitely noticed compared to Europe or Western Europe,
where it's good mix.
Where it's more popular, right, for a woman to work and have career, which is a bit more indeed, like you say.
So
traditional.
Yeah, the traditional part of
the household.
Something else I wrote down here is about their prayers, that they take it serious.
Yeah. You hear the mosques, like
there's many facilities for it, even everywhere there's prayer rooms, and everywhere there's a mosque, and we heard the prayers every day. No matter where we were, we heard prayers.
Yeah. It's a big Islamic country, Turkey.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, nice to visit, those mosques. Of course, you have some things that you have to cover yourself, but it's always really welcoming.
Yeah, they're very
even
welcoming.
if you're not a Muslim.
Yeah, as long as you respect.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And then the last point I made, that in general you'll find somebody that understands and speaks a bit of English to save up the situation, even if you're in a big Turkish, let's say, environment. There'll be somebody to save the situation. Like we had
there's many times that because of course you speak only English, we don't speak Turkish, that you try to say in English and they're a bit uncomfortable, like oh shit, and then there's always somebody in the shop that hears it and like and that speaks English a bit, and then they come and they help. So that's really nice. We all the time had this.
Yeah, like we were in a restaurant on the highway where nobody spoke any English.
But then indeed there was like one waiter that spoke a bit of English.
A bit, yeah.
And with that person you arrange everything and you just get what the locals get, which is really nice.
Yeah, we were just pointing, and it was really nice. It was really Turkish experience. Yeah. And they helped us. But then when somebody new came at the table and they realized we only speak English, they're like, oh, I'm going to go
Yeah, then they become a bit shy, of course. Which is normal.
So also in the baklava shop, the really local one from Ankara, there was a customer in the shop that started to translate what we wanted for the seller. Also, like
the good thing, normally you get some tips, like, oh, you should also try those. Okay, let's take it. So I think conclusion, you okay with English there?
Yeah, there's always somehow manageable. I think that was our parts about Turkish people, unless you want to say something else.
No, I think we had most of the points of it.
You had some friends you played football with, Turkish.
Oh, Netherlands, you mean?
Back in Netherlands, yeah.
Yeah.
You had a lot of interaction with Turkish from Netherlands, right?
Yeah, that's like, well, I see some patterns, similarities, which especially I think the gathering thing, because I think in the Netherlands they also like to gather together to have meetings or play football. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they are connected to each other, which is nice. Or you mean you want to hear like differences that I experienced?
Yeah, is it like
I see things
have
like
it confirmed
that they are? Yeah, indeed, they are like proud. Food, of course, I don't really know what they eat at home, but probably like what we ate in Turkey.
Mm-hmm. No, but I'm saying is like you even interacted with them. You kind of had an opinion already about Turkish people from your interaction with them in Amsterdam, right?
Yeah, you also see a lot of differences because they are in Amsterdam. They're adapted to more the Dutch culture. Mm-hmm. While in Turkey, I think it's the more raw how they are in Turkey style. In behavior, I don't want to go too deep, but there's also differences in it, for sure. Because you change according to your situation and environment, I think. Mm-hmm. But no, it's in general, I would say it's kind of confirming, what I thought about them. Plus, they always said, go to Turkey,
Yeah.
It's safe and it's nice, it's cheap, all those things, and all what they said, indeed, it's true. I think what we discovered. So it's a good recommendation. Next one.
Next chapter was about, maybe tips and tricks or like what we experienced as tourists, just random things. Good to know for tourists.
So with English you're fine. So I think a nice one as tourist. In general, it's really safe. Everything. Right? We didn't have uncomfortable situations.
No.
The opposite. People try to help. Mm-hmm. And Antalya is, as an example, really for tourists, of course, because it's really for the beach. So there you're totally fine as a tourist.
I think even more in Istanbul, in the attraction places, like everybody is gonna interact with you. Yeah,
but I find as a tourist, but we have this in general, we together, we like more the local experiences where not many tourists are coming. Because people are even more friendly, in my opinion. If you go to the big touristic things or attractions, museums or whatever, they are more in general grumpy and...
But that's exactly what I wrote down on my list. That in the touristic places, there will be plenty of people that want to get your money. Like you feel...
That's a little disadvantage, I would say, about Turkey.
Like you feel they do interact with you, but they're not genuine, maybe, and then there must be something out for them from the deal. Like you feel that in the touristic places, and I think it's important to walk in those touristic places with this idea in mind, to already accept it's gonna be like that.
Yeah, true. We always have this a bit that we're like, okay, because some things are really beautiful, so you have to kind of go there to see it. You kind of don't want to because so many people, it's relatively expensive for what you get.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to go there. So there's always this love-hate, I think, bit that we have. And like you say, it's a good point. You have to just accept it and enjoy it. Enjoy the monument or the view or the nature wherever you go. And you pay, in my opinion, you pay always way too much for that stuff.
Overpriced in general.
Or like what we had, you have around those places, especially the really touristic things with normally an entrance fee. There's so many men again, trying to sell you discounted tickets and a bit of dodgy stuff. And they're really pushing
or extra services or like, I don't know.
This can be a bit annoying because
you feel it weird that you have already a tax and then they tax you again when you're inside there or something like that.
Yeah, it's almost like you go to the pool and then, you want to go in the warm water? No, but it's €10 extra. It's like, yeah, but I already paid for the pool. A bit of this idea. That you're like, what? Just give me the price and, right?
Yeah.
I can do what I want here.
Yeah.
Maybe that's also from us, our culture, I don't know. But yeah, in general, the touristic places, yeah, like I said, I think the summary is love, hate, because love because it can be beautiful, and hate because it's busy and it's overpriced.
Yeah.
And you feel really like they want your money, kind of, that feeling.
You have that feeling.
Compared to a local shop with an owner, he tries to, I don't know, even give you extra. You know, it's a different experience.
Yeah. But speaking about experiences with, what you had with locals, because you did your haircut twice in Turkey.
Yeah, which is, as a tourist, but also as a local there, I guess, it's perfect for haircuts. There's so many shops. And in my opinion, they do good haircuts.
Yeah. So we just popped randomly in the first one, like...
And
the one across the road from the hotel.
For a haircut, you don't really need English. You just say, like, haircut. And they okay, and you show some picture of how you kind of want to look like.
The first time you didn't show anything.
No, true. I just went in a chair.
First time it was in Istanbul, it was just like, okay, go for it. Like.
Yeah. So, it's like, I have nothing to lose. I lose my hair anyway, so what can go wrong?
So very cheap and professional. They're professional. They work hard also, those men, huh? Like.
Yeah, you get like, they clean your hair. They can even like, I don't know, burn your ear hair and like all kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, it's nice to experience, and really like for €3 or something.
Yeah.
And it's not like they do quick, although it is always a bit chaotic, I find, if it's busy, because there are people waiting, but that's also a bit their culture, I think. But still, they take the time and they do properly.
Yeah.
Compared to Netherlands, where I know if I go for a haircut, it's easily €20.
Yeah.
So that is really good. As a tourist, just go for a haircut there. They know what they're doing.
But don't go in the touristic places again. Just go somewhere where they don't speak any English. That's best. Like.
Yeah. True. That was twice really good experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you heard an experience of your brother that was different.
Yeah, he went to the really touristic thing that you don't establish a price and you don't know, and they give you all kind of treatments, and in the end you pay, of course, way too much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, another point is that the weather is good. Like, doesn't matter north, south. Like when we were in Ankara, it's winter season. It did rain. We arrived on a pouring day, but then the next day the sun was up. So I have a feeling the bad weather doesn't stay for a long time.
Can be snow there.
I know, but there's, sunny.
Well,
it's not that UK/Netherlands/other places weather that can be on for weeks.
Yeah, okay. But that's also because Turkey is so big. You kind of have everything a bit. The south coast, more the beaches, in general more warm. And in the north or in the mountains, of course, you can have snow even.
Yeah.
And cold.
Yeah. But sunny in general.
So you can get what you want, basically, there. Good.
Yeah, so there's like charming cities with a lot of history. On top of which I think Istanbul is the best from what we've seen. I think I can say Istanbul is probably one of the best cities in the world, if I can speak about. It's really charming. I know it has something really special. Like everywhere you look, there's like history, and there is something to see, and there's impressions, and there's like colors and experiences. Like we experienced many things in Istanbul. Very lively city, and just beautiful, and I felt good in there.
Yeah, from those three, okay, they all have nice things.
We've seen more cities on the way, I think, but also at Pamukkale, I forgot what the name of the city, and like we went through a bit Turkey, not too much. We went a bit.
Yeah, it's not we only saw those three. We also did a bit of driving in the car.
Yeah, so we've seen some things.
Yeah, but indeed, Istanbul, I think, we agree, is really special.
It's really special. I don't know what's so special about it, but...
I think the nice mix between Europe, Asia, it comes together. You have both, indeed, things of that. And in general, it's really clean, nice buildings, history. You can see big streets, so it's kind of spacious, even though it's really busy and a lot of people in that city. But
Speaking about clean, in general, it's clean. Huh? It's clean. It's Asia, so we experienced Asia somehow really bad in many places.
We have been in way more dirty spots.
Yeah.
But that's deeper Asia. But indeed, it's quite clean.
It's clean.
Yeah.
It's clean. It's nice. I find it clean. Yeah. It's nice.
But conclusion, we found Istanbul was way nicer than Ankara.
Yeah. Istanbul, as I said, I think it's super high on probably the best cities ever. Like, I don't know, it's just great.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
And I think good tip if you want to experience a bit of the Asia experience, but not want to fly all the way to Vietnam or Thailand. I think Istanbul, you get a bit that vibe. If you're European and you don't want to fly too far.
It's still very European-minded. Yeah, but there is Asia in there.
Yeah, at some spots at the markets or something, you see the chaos of Asia, let's say.
Yeah.
The organized chaos.
So it's a good warm-up for deep Asia, I would say.
Yeah, indeed.
It's perfect, yeah. And speaking about that, there's many situations in which we found contrast, like super expensive with cheap. Like you can look in this corner and you'll see the most crazy expensive thing, and exactly next to it a house that is about to fall down or something.
Yeah, the big contrast.
And the rich and the poor, big contrast we could see. Yeah, so you can have luxurious, you can have low budget, you can have everything. It's
whatever you want.
Yeah. Something else that we experienced. It's cheap and reliable public transportation. We got several buses.
Metros in the big cities are really good.
Yeah.
Reliable as far as we discovered, and really cheap.
Yeah, really.
Ticket is less than €1.
Really nice, cheap. It's not that crazy like, oh, the tram goes when it goes. It kind of goes when you expect it to go.
Yeah,
so
on time.
It's okay.
Yeah, we did many times. We, instead of getting a taxi, we went with the public transport, and it was good.
Yeah. And also we drove a lot on the roads. We drove some, because from Romania we went to Istanbul by car. We also hired a car in Ankara.
Antalya.
Antalya,
yeah,
not in Ankara. So
and it's really good to drive there.
Good highways.
Yeah, that's also something we noticed. Quite good infrastructure.
Yeah.
People driving a bit crazy in the big cities, but anyway, you will manage.
Yeah. So ending this theme, I want to say that the not touristic part of Turkey in general is cheap. Things are really affordable, so you can save a lot of money if you go a bit further from all the attractions.
Yeah.
Like in Ankara, we did not really find tourists.
Not that many, no.
Maybe one or two.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's not that touristic, indeed.
No, and you could already observe big difference in prices at the restaurant or like anything.
Yeah, true.
Also things you could see for free, while in like touristic spots you have to pay for everything. So yeah.
It's a nice contrast with maybe Antalya, which is touristic.
Yeah, and then it was about the money part, where I highlighted some things that there's the inflation that is ongoing always.
That's something we only heard from the news, of course, about the lira, the local currency in Turkey.
But we experienced it. Like, you should never trust the prices that you see online. If you research for a restaurant for reviews, or like if you check their menu, even if it's updated 2 months ago, the menu, you might arrive there and not be the same menu.
Yeah, true.
Like
the inflation went crazy, that we saw indeed review, and you see, or even you see still on the billboards in the shop, like a doner for, I don't know, 20 lira, which is super cheap. And then on the real menu, it's 100 or 130.
Yeah.
It's crazy, I think, prices went times 4 or 5 there in a couple of years' time. Which has to do, that's what I want to say about the news, with the inflation. Which, of course, if you're in Europe or live in Netherlands, you don't really have anything to do with that because you don't use the Turkish lira. But indeed, when we went there, it's like
you feel it.
You feel it.
And we have this, let's research a bit mentality because we don't really like great surprises, let's say. So it's always a bit disappointing because, like, for Pamukkale, we went to Pamukkale and I did the research before, and Google said the entrance should be 250, and we arrived there, it was 750 lira. So, you know, like, even the last update from Google was not updated. Not updated at all. Like, you should never trust the prices you see online.
No, never. But in many cases, but you can see, like,
it can be like
in the reviews. That's what I do. You can see, this is 1 year ago. So then you kind of know, like, it's not up to date. But if it's 1 week ago, somebody made a photo of a menu, right?
Okay, maybe
reliable.
a week is more likely to have the same
But indeed,
price.
even
you never know.
Even car rental we had, that I thought, this is a good deal. Went to the shop, and the guy was like, no, that's some excuse, of course, different price. But yeah, always indeed negotiate or check the menu where it's black and white. But in general, I think if you come from Western Europe especially, and you have the euro or the dollar, if you're from America, it is cheap because you get a lot of liras for your euro or your dollar.
Yeah, but other point was that there's a huge queues at the exchange offices.
Yeah, that's something we noticed. The currency exchange, there was like so many queues.
Yeah, locals.
Yeah.
They want to exchange.
Probably because they don't want to hold the lira, really.
Yeah, we made an
assumption,
and we think is maybe because of this inflation of lira,
that they want to hold their money in dollars, euros, or maybe even Bitcoin, like cryptos you see a lot. Like offices in the cities, which in Netherlands you don't really see. Like, hey, here you can exchange euros for Bitcoin. Like, that's also something I noticed. And by the way, now we speak about the money thing, because we were looking also, do we need a currency exchange for having cash? Actually, we did a lot of things by card. We paid by card.
Oh yeah, we did.
So, which you can say is modern, because deep down Asia, we have been in Vietnam and stuff, it's like cash is king, of course.
Yeah.
It's not really with the European card, it's like, or even Visa or MasterCard. You don't really get what you want because it doesn't work.
So
but in Turkey, we
all the supermarkets, they work with card.
Even public transport.
Not all, but most of it.
Yeah, so that was also, I think, a pro.
Yeah, you can pay directly with a card.
If you want to pay with card.
Yeah, restaurants, of course, they take cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everywhere, kind of. Even in the small baklava shop, we could pay with a card. So, yeah.
That's something that popped up now that I noticed.
And because we didn't need that much cash, we did not have cash with us anyway, but because of where we want to go next, we thought, hey, maybe we need more cash because we're getting deeper East Asia. We were trying to search for some money to have euros with us.
Yeah, we wanted to, because of course you always have to have some, I think, euro or dollar with you, but we want to get some more, which in Turkey was really hard indeed. All the banks, they were like high fees, even up to 8% from the transaction.
It was like at some ATM. We tried, I don't know how many, probably 20 or 30 at least. ATMs.
Yeah, we tried it.
And it was even one ATM, it was like we wanted to get 700 euro out, and it asked commission for 50 euros.
Yeah, like 8%, something like that.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that's how the banks make money. So we found probably they want to really stimulate the...
Yeah, so we made the assumption that they want to stimulate people to keep the money in their own currency rather than exchange it. Because it's really hard to get euro or dollar.
Well, it's easy.
Or you pay for it.
Yeah, you have to pay a lot.
And it's a lot. I mean...
Yeah, 8% fee is a lot.
For that money, you can eat for a good amount of days. Like, it's a lot of money.
True. Good. That was the money, I think. The money part.
Yeah, that was the money part. And
But the conclusion in general, don't have to worry about it. I mean, it is, I would say I rate it as cheap because we even went to the capital, the big cities.
Mm-hmm.
It is affordable.
But the capital was cheaper than Istanbul, eh?
Yeah, Istanbul is more expensive. But again,
speaking about that, it was also like the capital did not really feel like a capital.
True.
Right? Like Istanbul is just like in population is way over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. It's way bigger.
Yeah, like Ankara felt a weird place to me. Not only because that's also like the last point that I wanted to highlight in my list. I really felt unsafe as a pedestrian, not only in Ankara but the most in Ankara. I think because they never stopped at the crossings. Even if you were on the crossing, they would just overpass you like few centimeters, not even 10 centimeters. They would just like go past you and super speedy, like really. I don't know what speeds do. It's a lot for a city.
They just drive crazy.
It's a lot for a city, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it feels really uncomfortable. Like I was really stressed because of that. Only crossing the road would stress me so much. And I had this in Asia as well. But indeed, maybe as you say, in Vietnam or like Hanoi, maybe that was the most crazy for me. It was still like I knew they're gonna go around me. But in Ankara, they don't go around me. That was really bad. Like
it's more threatening.
Yeah. It was really threatening.
They don't pretend at all to stop or to avoid you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's their trick because you will stop. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, but
we also have different limits with this.
Yeah.
I mean, you're more, I would say, scared with it, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, anyway.
But I was also saying about Ankara that, it did not have that, special vibe what you would expect maybe from a capital like Istanbul.
Yeah, we were missing that a bit.
Yeah, Istanbul was over.
Istanbul was more overwhelming.
Yeah.
Good. Now that we spoke about that.
Mm-hmm. That was my list, I think, with impressions.
Oh, what a big list you made.
Do you want to add to my list?
We did a lot already, I think. We should cut it here because we speak a lot about all kind of things, impressions.
Yeah.
But it's a nice list. Yeah. So we go to the, I think, last part of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
To make it a bit more specific about budgeting, stay in the money subject, which normally is a bit my department. I love that. So I just made a summary of what we spent I just took an average week in Turkey, so like half of the week in Antalya and half the week in Ankara, to have a bit of an idea. And I think it's a good example of what you can expect to spend in a week there without doing really crazy things. I think we already noticed in the beginning a bit. To give an idea, we are just, I would say, a bit above the budget traveler. And for me, budget traveler means going always for the cheapest options, like
we
accommodation.
did not take cheapest options.
No, but we will come to that here.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically made like 6 categories. I actually make everything in Excel always, because I think it is important to keep control of budgeting, your money, what's coming in, what's coming out. Especially if you travel for a longer time, it's important to know where the money is going.
How long we can still travel, that's the most important.
Also, or indeed, if you have, better weeks with certain income, that you can maybe go a bit more posh with your accommodation or whatever you want. So I always keep track of the money. That's always a good advice that I can give. People interested, I can even share some Excel sheets that I use, or that I made myself actually. Nothing complicated, but I use always like 6 main categories, which the first one is transportation. So in Turkey, in general, that is cheap, especially like domestic flights. Like we took one that like really like for 80 euros we went from Antalya to Ankara, including baggage for 2 persons. So that's 40 euros each, which is super cheap. We booked even last minute,
Yeah.
or not really upfront. We spent in 1 week And in transportation, then we include also buses, taxis, and the metro. Everything to do with to transport ourselves. We spent like 91 euros, so not even 100 euros for 2 persons, including a domestic flight. Then the next one is accommodation. We spent like 310 euros for a week, and we stayed in I think a nice apartment with a balcony.
Very nice apartment.
Yeah, it was big.
It
In
was
Antalya was this, by the way.
above the prices that we found on Booking. We could have had way cheaper than that.
There we didn't really.
But we didn't compromise because we were staying long time.
Because we were staying mainly on the beach, so we thought we're gonna be a lot in the apartment, so it has to be like good standard.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's like 45 euros per day average. But you can find for 30, 35, I think, okay things. And of course, if you go hostels or something, it's probably even way cheaper.
Yeah.
Food, which I think is really low. We spent like 80 euros for a week.
I cooked mainly.
Yeah, I made a
So
note.
in Antalya, I cooked.
We mainly made self-made dinners.
Yeah.
We sometimes went out, and still you can find like kebabs and stuff for like, I don't know, 4 euros per person, like a whole menu. So with food, you don't gonna lose it, I think. But yeah, we spent a bit more than a tenner per day together, which is, I think, yeah, you can see that's cheap. I have a category cash, because normally we use cash as well, but actually we didn't do that week. Mostly by card, everything. Another category, the 5th one is activities. So I keep track of all the things we do, like visit a museum, renting a car, going to, I don't know, like paid activities basically.
Yeah.
In here we rented a car for 3 days. Plus the fees that we paid to go to a monument.
Yeah, so we went to Pamukkale, which was quite expensive.
Yeah. So even with going a bit more to expensive things.
It was expensive, yeah. Expensive things we did, yeah.
We spent like, and of course I include the petrol and everything. It's like 200 euros for 3 days, including activities. So 100 euros each for 3 days, which I think is not too bad even.
Only 3 days that week or what?
Yeah, plus all the activities that we did. Like if we went to a museum.
So there was probably other activities as well, because we kind of did or not. Or in Ankara was for free mainly.
No, it's like it's mainly entrances for like historic monument. You normally have to pay something.
Yeah.
That's all included in there. The last one, I always have a category like products or extra things. Like if you have to buy clothes, or in our case, SIM card, something like that.
Oh, I wasted 2 of them.
Yeah, you wasted a lot
less
of
than a
data
week.
because Anda put iCloud on, and let's
No,
not go
Anda
into
didn't put the iCloud on. He put the iCloud off, but
iCloud took control of your everything. Anyway,
yeah.
took your data. Yeah, so that was 10 euros, so that's not that much
Okay.
in that week.
That week.
Yeah.
The next week is the...
Yeah, probably next week is your SIM card. Anyway, so we have a total that we spent in Turkey in a week of around like 700 euros, which makes it like 100 euros per day.
For 2 people.
For 2 people,
So
including
that's 50 euro per person per day.
per day, yeah. Including your accommodation, food.
Transportation.
Yeah, which I think is not too crazy. Well, that's a bit our standards, I would say, what we spent. Yeah. So I think it's doable, but of course, like we said already, you can go way cheaper.
You can do way cheaper. Like
But then,
we
of
didn't
course,
do the
you're gonna
cheapest
compromise on not
Yeah.
going to do activities.
But we did a
stuff.
comfortable option. That was
Yeah.
for sure comfortable. And of course you can go higher. Like,
But I think you can make it like 500 for 2.
I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like 250 per person. It's for a week. I think that's decent. Anyway, so that was a bit of the budgeting, which we're probably gonna do more. And yeah, it's more like I said before. I like that stuff. Just make sense of the numbers, keep track of it. And I think that's also a bit for today.
Yeah.
I think we spoke a lot about our impressions from Turkey. We said 3 cities that we visited and surroundings. So overall, Anda, how would you describe it? What is a final word?
A
Turkey in
word
general.
only.
Or sentence.
Um,
Or more words. Like for me, it's like cheap, friendly.
yeah, it's lovely. It's chaotic.
Yeah.
A bit. Yeah, tasty, beautiful, nice people, good experiences. Like out of it, you end up with a good feeling, I think.
Yeah.
It can be a beautiful holiday for somebody. It can be, relaxation, touristic attraction. You can have everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good mix, and nature is
And
good.
also culture-wise, you learn a lot. Nature-wise, you see a lot.
Good beaches, nice water. So, conclusion, we can recommend people to go to Turkey.
Yeah.
It's really doable.
Will you
It's a
go
good-
again to Turkey?
Yeah,
I'll go because I still have Cappadocia on my list. So.
for sure. Yeah, well, our list is never ending, I'm afraid. But yeah, I definitely will come back. So, I think that's nice for today, for this 3rd podcast. Of course, if you like it, you can like and subscribe to our channel.
You can send us some messages, like what else would you like to see? Maybe if you're more interested in Jelte's Excel tables, or if you want more details on this, if you liked this kind of podcast, because it's different than the other ones, just send some feedback, please.
Thank you already, and
thanks for watching, if you're still watching until here.
and see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Doei!